We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Flugar. We're sitting here Tuesday night once again, waiting for the college football playoff rankings to be released. I want to capture all of your real-time reactions. It's a pivotal night. It really is. I know I get a lot of pushback. Greg, why do you cover all this AP poll early in the year? And why do you cover every single week the bowl projections? And now why do you cover every Tuesday night for the college football rankings? Because we love everything of college football here at Peek Around the Corner. So we cover it all. If you're a fanatic of college football like I am, this is the channel for you, because we cover everything. The conference races, the Doak Award predictions, Remington Award, Heisman Trophy candidacies, you name it, we do it. We do the realignment, of course we do, all the breaking news and transfer portal, coaching carousel, coach hires. Willie Fritz is staying with Tulane. Lane Kiffin just signed a new contract with Ole Miss. What do you think about that? Again, put all your comments down in the comment section. We'll try to get through them all. Smash that like button if you like our content. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. Share the video with your family and friends. And of course, hit that super chat button if you want to put a donation in to help us with keeping the lights on at this channel. Now, we've got Conference Championship Weekend coming up. We're going to be again talking about those games coming up. In about 30 minutes, ESPN is supposedly releasing their new rankings, right? And so we're going to capture all of our reactions in real time. I expect, of course, I've been wrong every single Tuesday. I've almost flipped the table every single Tuesday. But I expect Georgia to be number 1, Michigan 2, right? TCU 3, USC 4, and then the Buckeyes should be 5. They should be ahead of Alabama. But we're going to find out. They better be ahead of Alabama. Oh, I'm going to flip the table tonight. So we're going to be watching that. It should be, they're talking about it here on ESPN right now. They're going through the resumes of the teams. They're talking about TCU, 12-0, 10th place FPI, 35th strength of schedule. They're giving out the resumes right now. I don't see how Alabama can be ahead of Ohio State. We did an episode, I think it was yesterday, Bama or Buckeyes, just in case USC loses this Friday night. And as a reminder, and I'll put out some alerts in the next couple days, we're going to be doing a live watch party. Live watch party Friday night. We're going to start about 7:45 Eastern Time, 6:45 Central Time. For that, about a 7:10, 7:15 kickoff between the Utah Utes versus the USC Trojans. We're going to be doing a watch party, so come along, watch with us, have some fun, put your comments down, bring yourself your favorite beverage, bag of chips. Have fun. Watch party. Pac-12 Championship. That's Friday night. And then Saturday night, we're going to be doing another watch party. Big Ten Championship. The Michigan Wolverines, led by Jim Harbaugh, J.J. McCarthy. Is Blake Corum going to be back for that game? We shall see. Versus the Purdue Boilermakers. Is Aiden O'Connell going to be back for that game? I heard reports he hasn't practiced here early in the week. We know there was tragedy beset that family, the O'Connell family, as Aiden lost his brother, Sean. So was he going to be ready to play for this weekend? We shall see. So we're going to be doing 2 live watch parties. Friday night, Pac-12 Championship. Saturday night, Big Ten Championship. So come along with us. Let's go for this great ride. We're going to end this season, at least the conference championship season, on a high note. And of course, there's other conference championship games we're not going to be doing a watch party for, but that TCU, Kansas State, noon Eastern, Saturday morning, Saturday noon, ABC, Max Duggan. The Athletic came out with an article today, and they did a Heisman with the voters. They did a, what do you call that? A hidden ballot straw poll. They did a straw poll. And it was number 1, Caleb Williams. Number 2, Max Duggan. Number 3, I think it was CJ Stroud. I can't remember who number 4 was. Whoever number 4 was right behind CJ Stroud. But Caleb Williams is the heavy chalk favorite to win the Heisman right now. But Max Duggan, number 2 for TCU. And then we got the MAC Conference Championship game, the Sun Belt Conference Championship game, Coastal Carolina, Troy, LSU, Georgia, 4 o'clock Eastern on CBS. That's going to be a pretty interesting game. Pretty interesting game because as far as I can see, no matter if Georgia wins or loses, they're in the playoffs. No matter if LSU wins or loses, they are not in the playoffs. That's my opinion. Let me know what your opinion is. Georgia's not going to get kicked out. They're not going to have Georgia out of the top 4. Just my opinion, guys. We shall see. Tulane versus UCF. Tulane got some great news. Willie Fritz is not leaving Tulane. He's staying. He didn't get the Georgia Tech job. That's basically what it means. He's staying at Tulane for at least another year. Tulane versus UCF. Nothing against UCF, but I'm rooting for the Tulane Green Wave to get this done, to win the AAC championship. Fresno State, Boise State. And then while Purdue and Michigan playing, we got Clemson versus North Carolina. And I think they've got projected Clemson versus Tennessee in the Orange Bowl. That's going to be a very good Orange Bowl. Other news happened today. Now we know that Auburn, right? They got their new coach, Hugh Freeze. There's been some blowback. There was going to be basically a blowback no matter who Auburn named as their head coach. But I, for one, I believe Hugh Freeze deserves his redemption, at least his attempt to redemption. On the road to redemption, he's going to get his shot. I thought he answered all the questions really well during his press conference, or answering reporters' questions. It looks like Auburn did a full check to see that Hugh Freeze is doing what he needs to do to make sure he doesn't fall from grace as the head coach of Auburn. There's been some contradicting reports out. Will Auburn let Hugh Freeze run his own social media accounts, or will he not? Contradicting reports. But Hugh Freeze, head coach of Auburn, I gave Auburn a B. I gave them a solid B on that hire. My grades have been really high this coaching carousel season. I gave Nebraska an A. I gave Arizona State an A for Kenny Dillingham. Have you seen his press conferences? Have you seen his interviews with his reporters and how he handles people? I think he's been excellent. Of course, I gave evil Wisconsin Badgers. I gave them an A+. Come on. Luke Fickell, I gave them an A+. I didn't want to, but if I was going to maintain any type of credibility as a Gopher fan, as a person running this college football YouTube channel, nationwide college football channel, A+ for the Wisconsin Badgers. And I'm giving Auburn a B. I'm giving Colorado Buffaloes an A right now just for the attempt to get Deion Sanders, to be this close to getting him. I do not know what Deion Sanders' final decision is going to be, but I said in the episode earlier today, I think Deion Sanders, maybe I'm reading this all wrong, okay? My bad if I am. But I think Deion Sanders is handling this just right. He's balancing the interest, the custodianship, the leadership that he has with his current Jackson State players, student athletes, and programs versus his potential to get a Power 5 job with Colorado. I think what he's doing is he's waiting until the end of that Jackson State Southern Jaguars game. And then I think he makes the announcement he's the new Colorado head football coach. And remember something, and I give Deion Sanders credit for this as well. And you may disagree with me. Go ahead. I love disagreement. Put in the comments section. Go after me. I appreciate it when you do. It makes it way more interesting. You got to remember something. Deion Sanders was asked a couple weeks ago about that report, the false report, that he was about to become Nebraska Cornhuskers' new head coach. What did Deion Sanders say? He simply said, it's not true. And then he was asked a couple days ago, I believe it was a couple days ago, maybe it was yesterday. He was asked a question, were you offered? Is it true that you were offered by the Colorado Buffaloes? And Deion Sanders says, yes, it is true. So he hasn't been disingenuous. He's been honest with everybody, reports out. He's been responsible with Jackson State. And maybe I'm missing something in this story, but it doesn't seem like Colorado is moving on to plan B, plan C. Looks like they're hanging tight. I think a deal is possibly done, or it's so far along the way that it looks like it's going to be done. And I think Deion Sanders is handling things just right. Perfect, in my opinion. Opie, nice to see you in the house, sir. Appreciate it. Once again, Opie has come in on the house that sits on the corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kirk Gowdy Avenue. Opie says Auburn is so jacked up. They hate everyone they hire. That sports department is a mess. I don't know. Yeah, yes it is. And, you know, their money perch has a big influence. Kind of reminds me of Texas. Big influence on the athletic department. I just think Hugh Freeze deserves this opportunity. I do. He made a mistake. Now let's see what he can do on his road to redemption. We should all get that second and third opportunity. He's a great college football coach. The players loved him at Liberty. He treats people with respect. Maybe he didn't treat himself and his family with respect during that scandal at Ole Miss. But I think he deserves this opportunity, and I'm glad he's getting it. Now, Tony. First of all, Tony, nice to see you in the house again, sir. And I was just going to get to West Virginia because it is connected with the Hugh Freeze story. Tony, what's the better job, West Virginia or Cincinnati? I think Cincinnati has a higher ceiling, but West Virginia currently is the better job. But West Virginia is screwing it up, and they need to clean it up. We had an episode on this a few days ago as well. As you can see here, peek around the corner in our recorded episodes, we try to hit all these stories along the way. We try to get out in front of it. That's why we peek around the corner. A couple of months ago, for those who are new to the channel, the money perch was squawking at West Virginia. And they were saying they wanted Hugh Freeze. They wanted to make sure that West Virginia acted quickly, just like other athletic directors were, just like what Trev Alberts did at Nebraska. West Virginia wanted to get things moving, pay Neil Brown his buyout, get things going so they can get out ahead of some other schools and get Hugh Freeze in the process of the interview process, checking him out, doing the background check, right? And, of course, other possible candidates. And West Virginia didn't do that. And they fired Shane Lyons. And then Shane Lyons went on Metro News at West Virginia and talked about Well, you can go on our YouTube channel a couple episodes ago and give that a watch. But what a mess. And, it sounded like to me, now West Virginia fans can hop in here. I know lots of them on Twitter, become good friends with many of them. Hop in here, tell me if I'm wrong. But, it seemed to me in that interview that Shane Lyons had with Metro News, seems like Shane Lyons still didn't want to let Neil Brown go. He was talking about this is year 2 for Neil Brown because of the pandemic season. And I tell you, I think President Gee probably did the right thing. But what they failed to do is to act quickly, to have an athletic director ready to go. They don't. They're paralyzed. That university is paralyzed. They can't do any action. So they couldn't get out in front of Auburn for Hugh Freeze or some other possible candidates. Hopefully they can get stuff moving, so maybe they can get a shot at a Jamie Chadwell or somebody. They need a new head coach. Nothing against Neil Brown, but you can't go another year with this. He had his opportunities. It's not fair. A lot of this is not fair. It's not about he's a good coach. Look what he did at Troy. But you only have a short window to break through, really, especially at a place at West Virginia. They have an incredible fan base. They're intense. That fan base, they buy the t-shirts, they go to the games, they buy the beer, they're there supporting, they donate to the university. They deserve a fresh start. Neil Brown has not gotten it done at the quarterback position. They're showing on ESPN right now that Auburn introduces Hugh Freeze as head football coach. Again, in about 13 minutes, hopefully the new conference, the college football playoff rankings come out, and we're going to have real-time reaction on this show. Please smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, share the video with your family and friends. If you want to donate, hit the $sign to help us with keep the lights on. We appreciate it. What's the better job? West Virginia. But Cincinnati has a higher ceiling than most universities in the Big 12. That's my opinion. I've said that for a long time. Same thing with Houston, by the way. But West Virginia currently is the better job, but my goodness, West Virginia's got to get moving. They were slow. They were too slow on the uptake. And if they have Neil Brown as the head coach next year, it's going to remind me a lot of the Nebraska situation this year, where they were just dead in the water. Everybody knew it. They're not going to get ahead in recruiting. They're not going to do well in the transfer portal. They got to get moving. They got to get it done now. Really. I'm scared about that program right now. Badger Ron, nice to see Badger in the house. Appreciate you, sir, for coming in. Rose Bowl deadline. Oh, boy. Badger Ron brings it up. Badger Ron brings up the issue of the day. He's not afraid. Badger Ron is not afraid. Rose Bowl deadline with college football playoffs enlighten me. Is it all coming down to the Rose Bowl wanting that TV time slot? So I think the decision is this week, or even maybe tomorrow, Wednesday. I read like 4 different reports on this, and I still can't totally put my arms around this issue. I'm not sure what the Rose Bowl is doing. They want that January 1st time slot. They want to make sure they have a slot in the college football playoffs, semifinals, this is what I'm confused about. They're talking about how the Rose Bowl wants a quarterfinal home game because they want a quarterfinal game because that's probably going to be in that January 1st, January 2nd calendar time spot. But this is what I'm really confused about. There's talks about 2024, 2025 college football expanded playoffs where that quarterfinal round is played, the quarterfinal round is played at the home campus, the higher ranked home campus schools, just like the first round would be. So to me, the bowl games, if you want to be in that rotation, it's about semifinals and championship game. So there'd only be 3 of those major bowl games, and they would have to rotate those. You know, there's like 6 top ones. I'm not sure what game. The power of the bowl games have gone down, and they will continue to go down. Okay? The power of the playoff and the managers of the playoffs are going up because they're going to receive so much money in revenues. New revenue. Gigantic amount. So this new world of college football, the bowls, the representative of the bowls, leverage is going down. Playoffs is going up. The super conferences powers are going up. You know, I'm afraid. I love the Rose Bowl. I love the history of it. But they don't have the leverage. They don't have the power. It's dissipating. It's going to dissipate here for 2024, 2025, and it's going to continue to dissipate beyond that. And remember, one more thing, and I'll get to your question, Tony. One more thing. We're all waiting 9 more minutes. We want to capture real-time reactions to the new college football playoff rankings. But one more thing. In regards to the Rose Bowl, let me just get to your questions. Greg, give me the odds of University of California Board kicks the can down the road again. Give me the odds. Give me the odds. I want to say it's 0%, but of course we are dealing with the University of California Board of Regents, so I would give it a 25% chance they kick it down the road again. We're going to be watching here at Peek Around the Corner that University of California Board of Regents meetings as it happens, just like we did the previous one. So we're going to be capturing it real time, so join us when that happens, December 14th. I can't imagine them kicking that can down the road. I can't imagine them blocking UCLA, but I can imagine them crippling UCLA. I think that final decision with a big toll tax, I think they're going to cripple UCLA. I think they're going to make trouble with UCLA, with the Big Ten. Opie. Tony, oh my God, if they kick that can down again, the Big Ten, the 12 just need to go ahead and end them. I just can't see them kicking that can down the road again. There's one other point that I want to make. We had an episode on this earlier this week. Before we get into the college football playoff rankings in real-time reaction, the nugget that we had on Gonzaga and the Big 12. We put an episode out there about last week. We were given information that there's this decision window between now, end of November, and the end of January for Gonzaga to join the Big 12 basketball conference. We also said at that time that we believe we have the information of why it's the end of January date. I didn't feel comfortable to give it out on that episode. I am comfortable to give it out on this live show. The reason for this decision window, we don't know it all, and we never do at Peek Around the Corner. The information was given to BTM and his associates, but in a different manner than it usually is given to us, and I can't go any further than that. But that decision window out in the end of January has to do with Fox Sports. Okay? Fox Sports wants Gonzaga to join the Big 12 basketball conference. And they want to get it wrapped up before the end of January. And it has something to do with that, and it has something to do with the upcoming Big East media negotiations contract for their basketball content. That's all tangled in with each other. So, what I'm trying to express to you all is that decision. Remember we had that go or no go for launch and further Big Ten expansion. We were told this in July was going to be between August 15th and October 15th. And voila, we had a no-go decision about that second week of October, about October 12th. It's the same thing here. We have a go or no-go for launch for Gonzaga to join the Big 12. The end of the window is end of January. That's what we were told. We were given more information on why that date. And when we get more information, we're going to give it to you all. Now, some of you ask, why are you talking about this? This is Peek Around the College Football's Peek Around the Corner, because it has to do with the Big 12, their national expansion. They want to go from east to west. They want their fourth time window slot for basketball. They're going to try to tie it in with football. As you all know this, you all been listening to me talk about this. So expect more of the Gonzaga Big 12 news to leak out. And we believe, we were told, we had backup information on why. And we're just letting you know that decision window, end of January. So don't expect this thing to get kicked into February, March, and into the spring on that decision. Here we go. Exclusive reveal of the new college football rankings. We're minutes away. Put down your real-time reaction. I'm just letting you know that we better see Ohio State ahead of Alabama, or the table's getting flipped, ladies and gentlemen. The table is getting flipped. Every week we've had, look, I love my SEC brothers and sisters. Best football conference in the country. Without a doubt, the most powerful football conference in the country. Without a doubt. Okay? But that SEC bias, that kills me. And we've seen it in these college football playoff rankings. Ohio State has to be ahead of Alabama. They're talking about it right now. David, where are Ohio State, Alabama, and Tennessee? Man, I tell you, Opie's asking me, will the table be flipped once or twice? Maybe I should flip it twice so I can get it back to its original place. We've been surprised. Every single Tuesday, we have been surprised by the placement of some of these SEC schools. Badger Ron, Household Dilemma, wanting Ohio State at 5. My lovely wife is a Bama grad. What should I do? Happy wife, happy life, Badger. So you got to go for Alabama on that one. USA 1, Iran 0, World Cup action. United States goes to the knockout round once again. They did it back in 2014, 2010. This is their 7th time they've done it. They play the Netherlands this Saturday. We shall see what happens. USA is going to be an underdog. USC Regent Gumby, nice to see you in the house. Appreciate it. What up, everyone? We're all waiting for the new college football playoff rankings. Tony, how about the wide receiver transfer from Wisconsin? Can we target a few others? I'd like to see us go after that Florida. I'm talking about the Gophers. Go after that Florida international Tyree Chambers. big receiver. I'd like to see us go after that. I think we got pretty lucky to get Marcus Allen from Wisconsin. Pretty fortunate. I think it's going to be hard for us to get any more real, true, good players in the transfer portal because of the way we use our wide receivers. I mean, it's tough for us to get them. Mo and Vision. Michigan should be number 1, but won't be because of SEC bias. I think they should be number 2. I disagree with you. I think Georgia should be number 1. I think it's close. I know a lot of Big Ten fans think Michigan should be number 1. Here we go. Buckle in. Buckle up. Brace for impact. Please smash that like button if you like our content. Please. It helps us with the algorithms of YouTube so very much. Please share the video with your family and friends. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. You'll get notified of upcoming shows. Hit that super chat button if you want to contribute donation to the show. If you want me to sing a song about if your favorite school, if they win the next game, I'll sing your fight song or a song that's close to your heart on the next live show. You just got to put a donation in. You know the rest. You've been following us here at Peek Around the Corner. We are ready to go. College football playoffs, rankings. We start with number 25. Let's get it going. Michigan has better wins. Chris says, no, they don't. Big argument between Georgia and Michigan. I think Georgia gets the number 1 spot. I think they should get the number 1 spot. Michigan had a relatively easy schedule. Easy non-conference schedule. Big win at home against Ohio State. That's why they got the number 2 spot. But they're going to have Georgia lose against LSU for Michigan to get the number 1 spot. Just my opinion. Tony, Penn State needs to be 8 to get to the New York 6. Woo! Penn State. They haven't. The playoff ranking committee, they don't really like their resume too much during these Tuesday night rankings. We'll see what happens tonight. I'm afraid because every Tuesday night I get filled in on my Twitter account with Penn State fans, about 5 or 6 of them. They get very upset. Chris, Penn State is underrated. Yep. And that Ohio State win on the road against Penn State, that's just one factor in why I think Ohio State should be ahead of Alabama. We had an episode on it, Bama or Buckeyes. We went through their whole schedule. If you want to take a look at it, go on our YouTube channel. It was just a couple episodes ago. Motivision say Michigan's wins dominating Ohio State and Penn State is enough to overlook the non-conference. Now, Motivision, Mr. Buckeye in the chat room, are you promoting Michigan all of a sudden? Because that would help the Buckeyes' resume to get that number 4 spot if USC loses on Friday night. Is Motivision playing subterfuge? North Carolina State 25, Mississippi State 24, North Carolina 23, UCF 22, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They stay in the top 25. They're number 21. They moved down 6 spots. Not much to glean from that. North Carolina State is the team I think the Golden Gophers are going to play in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. North Carolina State, Minnesota. I think that game is going to happen. We shall see. North Carolina plays Clemson in the ACC championship game. Mississippi State, big win. Texas, 20. South Carolina. Talking about a late season push. The Gamecocks are all the way up to 19. There's Tulane. You just got to beat UCF Tulane, and you're going to be going to the Cotton Bowl, probably against Penn State. UCLA 17, Oregon Ducks take a tumble. They take a tumble because they lost to Oregon State. Oregon is 16. Where's Oregon State in this ranking? Where is Oregon State Beavers? I haven't seen them yet. I haven't seen them. I think they're 9-3. They just beat Oregon. Here we go. Where's Oregon State? Where's Penn State? Oregon State. They put them one spot. They put them one spot ahead of the Ducks. Oregon State 15. LSU drops 9 spots. They're at 14. Florida State 13. Washington 12. Utah 11. So they got Utah 3 spots ahead of LSU. Like I said, if LSU defeats Georgia, LSU's not getting into the playoffs. If Georgia loses that game, I don't think they get bounced out. So we're here in the top 10. We haven't seen Penn State yet. Utah is up to 11. They play USC. Friday night, we're going to be doing a live watch party here at Peek Around the Corner. Come join us. Bring your favorite beverage, your favorite bag of chips. Let's have some fun watching Pac-12 championship game. We'll get to your comments during the commercial because they're going to go to the commercial before they get to the top 6. Utah Utes. I had them winning the Pac-12 championship at the beginning of the season. I think they've underachieved just a bit. They should have beaten the Florida Gators early in the year. Cameron Rising had that terrible. Kansas State, number 10. They move up 2 spots. They're playing TCU. So the question is that high enough for Kansas State to get in? If they beat TCU, if they blow the doors off TCU, is that a high enough ranking for Kansas State Wildcats to move past the Ohio State Buckeyes? I don't think so. But we shall see. I'm sure that's what they're discussing here on ESPN. Number 9, Clemson. They only dropped 1 spot. I am not so sure about that. Not so sure about that at all. Clemson only drops 1 spot. I would not have Clemson ahead of Kansas State. Got to be honest with you. Who's going to be number 8? Who's going to be number 8? Number 8 is Penn State. They got that spot what they needed. Tony, they got number 8. Chris, Mr. Tar Heel says my Tar Heels have been struggling lately. Monovision, the Buckeyes are getting it at number 4 if either USC or TCU loses. I firmly believe that. I don't agree with it, and I don't want to play Georgia, but I believe it. Mr. Monovision, thank you for your generosity of the last live show. Monovision put a $10 donation to us. If TCU wins, I have to sing the TCU Horned Frogs fight song in the next live show. Live, I have to sing it live, the TCU fight song. He believes that is a possible curse or a jinx against TCU. So Monovision's trying to clear out TCU because of my singing voice for putting that a donation in. Monovision is playing 4th dimensional chess here. UC Regent Gumby, LOL, SU, Tony. Oregon can't keep anyone. They even lost their president this year. Ooh, Tony taking shot at the Ducks. They aren't going to keep their head coach for a while. They are. Lanning's in there for, I believe, for quite a while. They lost their great offensive coordinator, Kenny Dillingham. Oregon will be back next year. Tennessee. You must be from Tennessee because you're the only 10 I see. But in this rankings, they're number 7. They're ahead of Penn State. Of course they are. Of course they are. How could they not be? Boy. Tennessee's ahead of Alabama. Go through those. Tennessee beat Alabama. Tennessee has more top 25 wins. Go through those metrics. Go through them. I know they lost big to South Carolina. I know, but you can see it. I'm ready to flip the table. I'm ready to flip the table. I better move my glass of water. I got to move it over here. They can't have Bama ahead of the Buckeyes, and I'm not saying that from a Big Ten homer perspective because I go after the Big Ten. I go after everybody, but they can't have Bama ahead of the Buckeyes. But my goodness, I'm getting scared. I'm getting scared, Sean. Ohio State is number 4 in the BCS-ACA. They should be number 4 here. Okay. Alabama's number 6. Okay. All right. The show has been saved. The show has been saved. And I really, truly believe even if TCU gets their doors blown out, or I should say, and if TCU loses to Kansas State and it's a competitive game, I believe TCU is still in this thing. I still think they're in the playoffs. I think it's USC that's vulnerable. If they lose to a very good physical Utah Utes team, USC is the one that drops out. The Buckeyes go in. I don't see any way for Bama to now jump over the Buckeyes. Let me know what you think in the comment section below the video. I don't think there is a way for Bama to jump over the Buckeyes. Buckeyes are number 5. We had an episode yesterday, Buckeyes or Bama. I said Buckeyes. Most people agreed. Buckeyes. USC, number 4. It should be TCU, number 3 coming up. TCU is number 3. And then I think it should be Michigan 2. Georgia Bulldogs 1. Tony's saying he disagrees with Monovision. TCU is in at 12-1. Kansas State has 3 losses. Terry Aloysius, Himalicious, Connotacious, Sacrilegious. Nord says, don't see USC losing to Utah. Caleb Williams was sure fun to watch against the Irish. He was spectacular against the Irish. He was spectacular against UCLA. Michigan, number 2. Georgia, number 1. Okay, for the first Tuesday, I am not flipping out. This is the correct rankings. Georgia 1, Michigan 2, TCU 3, USC 4, Ohio State 5, Alabama 6. The rankings are fine. The rankings are fine. Now, there is some disagreement in the chat about what should happen if TCU loses and USC loses. Who should jump who? Let's get back to the comments. Monovision. First of all, Terry, I want to get back to your comment. I believe Utah Utes is going to beat USC. Number 1, I think they're going to come out and physically manhandle USC. Number 2, I want to sing the Utah fight song, Utah Man, but I'm looking for a small donation from anybody. If Utah beats USC, I will sing the Utah fight song because that is the most beautiful fight song that I've heard. There was a guy, Will Dude, a Utah fan, came in here, put a nice donation, general donation into the channel. If Utah defeated Oregon, I would sing the song, but unfortunately, Utah lost to Oregon, so I couldn't sing the song, so I'm looking for it. Here we go. Will Dude is back in the house. Will Dude is back in the house. Thank you for the wonderful donation. Thank you, sir. Utah will beat USC on Friday. And after this happens, Greg will sing Utah Man, Go Utes. A beautiful song. I'm rooting for Utah based on that song alone. So let's go Utah one more time. But seriously, Will Dude, thank you for your generosity. I appreciate you, sir. Once again, thank you for your generosity, for helping us keep the lights on. At that Friday night game, won the last horn sounds, when the fourth quarter is over and Utah has defeated USC, I will sing the Utah fight song right there and then. Again, thank you, Will Duke, for your donation. Let me get back here. Will Duke, Terry, USC is going to get bulldozed by the Utah Utes. I think so. I agree with Will Duke. Chris, Caleb Williams is going to dominate against Utah. 35-24, USC wins. People going back and forth in the chat room. I love to see it. Monavision, Tennessee ahead of Penn State is debatable. I think it is. I think both Alabama and Tennessee ahead of Penn State is debatable. Alabama being ahead of Tennessee is debatable. Take a look at their schedules. Take a look at the results. Take a look at the metrics. Tennessee defeated Alabama head-to-head. Tennessee had more wins against top 25. I've seen those metrics laid out. It's close, but it's at least debatable to have Tennessee ahead of Alabama. I just think that blowout loss to Tennessee probably pushes Alabama ahead. That blowout loss to South Carolina pushes Alabama up ahead. Tony, have not seen the world's coolest trash can in a while. I don't know where it is. It's still in one place. I'll bring it out. I will bring out the coolest trash can at the Pac-12 Championship watch party. I will bring it out. I'll have it right here or right here next to me. Terry Nord, I think Ohio State moves up with either TCU or USC loss. Terry Nord. They can't do it again, Terry. They can't do it again. TCU was ahead of Ohio State. And in 2014, Ohio State jumped TCU. Ohio State got the 4th seed, and they went on to win the first college football 14 playoffs. I know you have to look at just what's going on this year. You can't go back to 2014. But TCU is in the conference championship game. How much should they get penalized for losing? They should get penalized some. But the Buckeyes are not in the conference championship game. The Buckeyes' biggest win is against who? Penn State. That was a good win on the road. They beat Notre Dame. I think that was on the road, correct? So that's a close one. Now, again, it depends on how TCU loses. If they get their doors blown out by Kansas State, then I will agree with Terry Nord. That's a pretty important game at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time Saturday on ABC. Tony, Utah wins, Ohio State is in. Do you agree? Yes. If USC loses, I think the Buckeyes get that 4th spot. And I expect USC to lose. A great year for USC. Their defense wasn't supposed to be ready for this type of run. They have one great player, that number 49, that I have a hard time pronouncing his name. Fantastic player, 11.5 sacks. But you can run on them. And I think Utah's going to run on them Friday night. But Caleb Williams, he's the Heisman Trophy winner. Fantastic season. Addison, the great receiver. They got other weapons. They lost their star running back late in the season, but they keep moving on. Badger Ron. Bama at 6. Bama at 6. Watch Stephen A's rant tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can't watch those shows anymore with Stephen A. Smith and Paul Feinbaum. We did an episode here on Peek Around the Corner. We played one of their spots where they just trashed TCU. It's too much for me. I can't watch it anymore. Can't watch that show anymore. David M. Let's go blue. Go dogs. Sick 'em. Woof, woof, woof. Go USC song girls. All right. There's a lot in that one. There's a lot in that comment. Thank you, David M., for dropping on in. West Virginia guy. I see Neil Brown getting fired. I see him getting fired too, but it's got to happen now. It's got to happen now, West Virginia guy. What's going on in Morgantown? You can fire him without a permanent athletic director. You don't. Someone's got to get the President Gee out there in Morgantown and say you can fire Neil Brown before you get a permanent athletic director. You got December 5th, the transfer portal day. That's the official day that players can enter the transfer portal. You can enter it now if you're a graduate student, if you're a graduate student athlete. December 5th is right around the corner. It's a Monday. People are going to go out of the portal, in the portal. What are you going to have? Neil Brown talk to these student athletes on December 5th and who's the transfer portal and says, hey, by the way, come to West Virginia. That student athlete that just got out of the transfer portal at FIU, at Jackson State, at University of Connecticut, they're not going to take that phone call. They're not going to take it seriously because they don't know who's the head coach is going to be at West Virginia. So West Virginia is going to lose all this long runway from the transfer portal. That's why you're seeing all these deals getting done. Lane Kiffin, Mississippi, done. He's going to be there. Now he can work for Ole Miss once again. He can keep that going, right? Hugh Freeze, Auburn, done. And I think after that December 3rd game, Jackson State versus Southern Jaguars, Deion Sanders, Colorado, done. So these coaches have some leverage, have the ability to talk with these players in the transfer portal. I'm telling you, I love West Virginia. I love the Mountaineers. This is unbearable to see this mess in Morgantown. Get it done. Let Neil Brown go. Get a coach. Get it going. You can't waste 2023 on Neil Brown, who's a dead man walking. Not him personally, but his college career at West Virginia. 2020, you got a new Big 12 kicking in. You got Cincinnati coming in. You got Houston coming in. You got BYU coming in. You got UCF coming in. You got a whole bunch of competition coming in. West Virginia can't be left behind. They got to move. They got to move tonight. They got to move tomorrow. Something's got to happen. Terry Nord, what is Kansas State ranked tonight? Not that high. Committee not liking Kansas State too much. See where I'm going here? Yeah, I see where you're going. I see where you're going. The committee doesn't quite give Big 12 that much respect, so therefore Kansas State's just only ranked 10th. They're behind Clemson. So therefore, if TCU loses to Kansas State, they're probably going to drop out of the top 4. You make a very good point, Terry. You make a very good point. West Virginia guy. West Virginia is a mess right now. Stephen Gill, nice to see you in the house. Appreciate it. Ohio State, Notre Dame was in Columbus. Thank you for the correction. I've got the best chat room around. They correct me every single time. Thank you. Appreciate it, sir. Monovision. Greg, thoughts on Johnson being forced to resign? She was rumored to be a no-go on further Big Ten expansion. What Monovision is talking about is the president of Ohio State, Johnson. She's being forced to resign. I don't think that has much to do with Big Ten not expanding in this time window. There were more schools than Ohio State that didn't want it to happen for now and for multiple different reasons. I'm not going to spend too much time on this episode talking about it because there's going to be further episodes that we're going to be have to go back into that discussion. I don't know what she did with her staff or what's the story out there in Columbus. But I don't think it has any effect on the Big Ten's decision to expand or not. I think it has nothing to do with it. West Virginia guy, our fan base is done with Neil Brown. I can understand that. More importantly is, how can he recruit in the transfer portal? How can he finish that high school recruiting class? That early signing period is December 21st. It sounds like you're going to lose Gallagher. I forget what his first name is. The athlete out of the state of Pennsylvania. I think he was your highest recruit in your class. I think he went to Penn State to visit. I don't think he's committed to Penn State yet. I could be wrong on it. Let me know. But you're going to start to see a leaking of your recruiting class right now. And how do you fill in those large gaps that you have in your roster in the transfer portal? That transfer portal opening December 15th has rushed the calendar to where all these other decisions have to be made more quickly. Everyone's doing it except for West Virginia. It makes no sense. Someone's got to get to President Gee and explain this to him. He's got to move on it. Will do. Key to victory. Play Caleb Williams the same way that teams play Mahomes. Keep him in the pocket. Don't blitz. Defensive line must keep their hands up to block passes. 2 safety shell defense to limit big plays. Great comment. That's how you beat Caleb Williams. If you can beat him, that's how you do it. Right there. Don't blitz. Don't blitz Caleb Williams. Because he's just going to avoid it. He's going to rush out of it. He's going to avoid that 1 or 2 man blitz package. Exactly what Will Dude says. That's the key. Hopefully for the Utah Utes, Kyle Whittingham and his staff is watching, peek around the corner right now. And he's listening to Will Dude. West Virginia guy, I would like to see Gary Patterson or Tom Herman in Morgantown. I'm surprised Tom Herman hasn't gotten a new job yet. New head coach, Power 5 job. He's definitely spinning around in these coaching carousels. I'm surprised he hasn't landed somewhere quite yet. Very interesting. I expect Tom Herman to get a job. West Virginia could be the spot. I don't think Gary Patterson at West Virginia is going to work. Just my opinion. Hudson Card is in the portal. Number 1 target of many? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hudson Card, backup quarterback, Texas Longhorn. He's in the transfer portal. Cade McNamara, Michigan. He's in the transfer portal. He led Michigan to the Big Ten championship last year. Cade McNamara, Hudson Card, top 2 targets. Is he the number 1 target of many? Who would you take, Hudson Card or Cade McNamara? That's a tough choice. I would take Cade McNamara, but that's a tough choice. Either one could help lots of different programs. Cade McNamara would be fantastic with the Iowa Hawkeyes if they get rid of their offensive coordinator. Again, something that Iowa can't move off of to help their program out. Who in the transfer portal, quarterback, wants to go to Iowa with that offensive coordinator still having that job? I don't see how it happens, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. West Virginia guy says that Gallagher guy is still committed to West Virginia. We'll see. Will he stick with that commitment all the way to December 21st when he doesn't know who their coach is going to be? Very interesting times in Morgantown. Bill O'Brien to West Virginia. Alabama demands it. I like Bill O'Brien. I don't know how much does he get. How much blame should he get for Alabama's woes this year? They didn't have the juice on offense. You could tell that right at the start of the season. At the start of the season, they didn't have the juice. They didn't have the players like they've had in the past. Don't know how much a one-year offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien, I don't know how much blame he should get for that. But he's getting blamed by fans in Alabama. Will do. If TCU loses, they're out of the playoff. Ooh, they're going to get jumped by Ohio State and Bama. Ooh, if USC loses also, Bama gets in over TCU. Lots of disagreement in the chat room. I don't think TCU gets jumped by both Buckeyes and Bama. I don't think they get jumped by Buckeyes unless they get their doors blown off. We shall see. Very controversial comment by Will Duke coming in the house. Mike Williams, you guys do realize Mike Williams, you guys do realize that doesn't work against Mahomes either. Good comment. It doesn't really work against him either. You're right. But if you're going to beat Caleb Williams, that's how you do it. Too deep, safeties, don't blitz them, doesn't work. I get the point, what Will Duke was saying earlier. Terry Nord, good point, Will Duke. Williams was fantastic, eluding the pressure from the Irish. Usually turned into a big play. Absolutely. Will Duke, Mike, it did last year when Mahomes struggled. It took Mahomes a year to figure that defense out. Tony, Gopher fan, Iowa needs to keep their offensive coordinator there forever. I was in trouble. You know, Wisconsin makes an unbelievable move to get Luke Fickell. Nebraska, I gave them a grade A getting Matt Rule. And there's Iowa sitting there with an offensive coordinator that is incompetent. So Iowa, you're going to be in trouble in the Big Ten if you don't make a move now. West Virginia guy, I think Tony Gibson, former defensive coordinator down at West Virginia. I think Tony Gibson would be a good fit at West Virginia. I think so too. Monovision, I agree with Will Duke. 100%. We have some agreement here. So we're going to close it up here. We've been on for an hour. Peek Around the Corner live show. Tuesday night live show. Thank you for your comments, for your donations. Appreciate it. You all helping us keep the lights on here at the Gopher by the Grace of God Studios. We're going to be doing a live show Friday night, watch party. We're going to start at about 6:45 p.m. Central Time. Okay? 6:45 p.m. Central Time. 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be covering the Pac-12 championship game. Watch party. So bring your bag of chips, your favorite beverage. We're going to watch it together. USC versus Utah. If Utah wins, I have to sing the Utah fight song right at the end of the game because of the generous donation by Will Duke. There's a lot of disagreement on how that game's going to go. We got Terry Nord and others thinking that USC is going to roll through Utah because of Caleb Williams. We got others, including me, that believe Utah is going to smash mouth USC down. And what happens if USC loses? What happens? So watch that game with us Friday night. And then Saturday night, we're going to have a watch party live show. Big Ten championship game, same time, 6:45 p.m. is when we start. Central Time, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. So come watch it with us. Watch party. Friday night, Saturday night. We're entering Conference Championship weekend. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much. Before you leave, smash that like button. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, do so now. But this concludes this live show. College football rankings. The second to the last one. We got one more to go after the college conference championship games. One more Tuesday to go. I don't think that's on a Tuesday. I think that happens right away on a Sunday. But whatever. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time. From all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.